Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, welcome into the new module Nutrition. You will find it interesting and you will study the new aspects pertaining to your diets. It is a short module lasting for only 7 days, giving you sufficient time to cope up with your previous gaps, and inshallah you will celebrate your Eid very well, and hope you stay at home, stay safe. Let's start with the biochemical aspects of nutrition and balanced diet. Learning outcomes are definitions of certain terms, classification of nutrients with their caloric or energy yields. We'll go for the energy requirement of the body and how that energy is used in our body, biochemical aspects and importance of nutrition will be discussed. We will determine the balanced diet and compose a typical balanced diet. We will also go for the recommendations for healthy diet. We'll start with the certain definitions. Nutrition. Nutrition is the science that deals with the food and nourishment. Its dynamics are changing, becoming larger and larger because many aspects of nutrition are also included in this science. Say for example, metabolic and physiological responses and even the pathological responses of the body to diet. Nutrients, they are the constituent of food necessary to sustain the normal function of the body. For example, carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, and other macromolecules or micromolecules which are required in the nutrition for the normal function of the body. Those are all our molecules are called nutrients. Calorie. This is the term used for the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree centigrade. But it is a very small unit. So in biological science or in the subject of nutrition, we will discuss kilocalorie. Will mean a kilocalorie, 1000 times of small calorie. That can be denoted as capital C or kilocalorie or simply calorie with capital C. This unit is in the British system and internationally used. But for the MK system, if we convert 1 calorie into joules, the one small calorie is equal to 4.2 joules, or one large capital calorie or one food calorie or 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4.2 kilojoules. When calorie is multiplied by 1000, so joules are also multiplied by 1000. So in the subject or in the lecture, forthcoming lectures even, we will mean 1 calorie, capital calorie, or it is 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4.2 kilojoules. BMI, body mass index. It is the indirect measure of body fat. Directly we cannot measure the body fat, but indirectly this index, body mass index, is the measure of body fat. When weight is taken in kilogram and height in meter square, the ratio is called body mass index. The desirable range is between 20 and 25. Above 25 up to 30, it is labeled as overweight. Normal weight people, they have the BMI around between 20 and 25. Basal metabolic rate, or BMR, or previously called the RMR, is the amount of energy expended by an individual in a resting post-absorptive state. That is, after meal, if you are resting and in a basal and resting state, you use between 50 to 70% of total energy which you take and spend is 50 to 70% of total energy expenditure. It's a big amount, and this amount of energy is required for the normal body functions. Say, for example, respiration, blood flow, ion transport, and maintenance of cellular integrity. RDA, recommended dietary allowance. This is the level of dietary intake which can fulfill the requirement of 97 to 98% of individual in the population. Classification. Nutrients can be categorized mainly into three groups: macronutrients required in large amounts like carbohydrate, fats and proteins; micronutrients needed in smaller quantities like minerals and vitamins; water, very essential; and roughage. Roughage is the fibrous, indigestible portion of the diet, which is also required in the diet for the healthy functions of the digestive system required by the body. Macronutrients are energy-rich molecules. When metabolized in the body, 1 gram of carbohydrate provides 4.1 calories or 4.1 kilocalories per gram. This is the capital calorie equal to 1000 of this small calorie. Fat provides 9.3 calories per gram. Proteins provide 4.1 calories per gram. This is the comparative chart. You see the fat is giving almost more than double of the carbohydrate and proteins so far as energy is concerned. Daily energy requirement. It is important to calculate your energy requirement per day so that you can take the energy from the food according to your requirement. If more energy you take in the diet, you will gain the weight and you can become obese or overweight. So let us see how to calculate. It is for the 70 kilogram adults. Sedentary adults, they require 2100 calories per day, or it is 30 kilocalories per kilogram per day. Whether your weight is 55 or 60, you multiply with the 30 and daily requirement of the calories you can obtain. If moderately active adults, energy requirement is 2450 calories, and very active adults, they require 40 kilocalories per kilogram per day, or 2800 calories. These are the requirements of the energy in adults or even children, males or females. But the important point is that, which is very useful for the health, the percentage of energy, total energy required by the body, 25 to 30% should come from the fat. So that much of the fat you must consume not to exceed 20 to 35% of total calorie requirement of the body. Carbohydrate 45 to 65. You see, the major portion of calorie requirement should be fulfilled from the carbohydrate in the diet. While protein, the percentage is 10 to 35. So I repeat, 20 to 35% of total energy requirement must be obtained from the fat. 45 to 65% of total energy requirement from the carbohydrate in the diet, and 10 to 35 from the proteins. Energy usage in the body. We take food in our diet. That food is metabolized and provides us energy. This energy must be used, and normally there are three energy requiring processes in our body. BMR, using 50 to 70% of energy utilization. Thermal effect or diet induced thermogenesis, which is requiring the utilization of energy, is around 10% for the digestion and absorption of the food. And the physical activity, which is around 30% of total calculated calories for a person according to his height and weight. But energy requirement increases with the activity. Here in this chart is approximately for a lady, and energy calculated is 2140. 1300 is utilized in the BMR, 10% in the thermic effect of the food, and 30% in the physical activity. The best measure of the energy cost for this physical activity is the BMR. Here it is half of the BMR because that lady is involved in very light physical activity. If you go for the normal physical activity, it can become physical activity energy expenditure can become equal to the BMR. So it is multiple of the BMR, 1.1 to 1.2 multiplied by the BMR. But you can increase the expenditure of energy if you take or you ingest more food, more energies are formed, then you have to burn this energy by increasing your physical activity. If you increase the physical activity, even the vigorous and strong exercises and climbing the stairs and cross country walking uphill, it may be 6 to 8 times of this BMR. So this physical activity is one of the most important factor in utilization of your energy. If energy intake is more, you have to utilize and burn by your physical activity. Biochemical importance of nutrition. You know, nutrition is the science which deals with the food and nourishment. And the scope and dynamics are changing for the healthy lifestyle. It provides good knowledge and aspects of health and diseases. It gives understanding chemistry and functions of nutrients, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, minerals and vitamins. We know the chemistry and functions and their importance. It also helps in investigating the metabolic and physiological responses of the body to diet. How much energy we should take, how much amount we should take, how much percentage we should take from the proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates, and what deficiency of macronutrient or micronutrient may lead to any disease. Gives this science also helps in exploring and understanding diseases due to under or overnutrition. Especially undernutrition is very common in Pakistan, and stunting and poor growth is commonly seen in some parts of the Pakistan. And obviously overnutrition is very common in children and middle-aged people, especially the bad type of obesity, abdominal obesity due to overnutrition or overeating. So exploration and understanding the diseases due to undernourishment or overnourishment may also be helpful in health and diseases. To find and elaborate the means of prevention and management of diseases. When you consume unhealthy diet and or insufficient diet, it may lead to many diseases, and we have to explore, and we can cure by the adjustment of the diet some diseases which are because of insufficient or unhealthy diet. So nutrition is becoming more and more important, both in health and in disease state. The importance of nutrients can only be judged or evaluated if we see the functions of these nutrients. These are the basic functions. Carbohydrates and fats, they provide energy. Proteins, they also provide energy but help in protection against infections and growth and repair of the body. Similarly, vitamins, they are also important because they act as coenzymes in the metabolic pathways of these three macronutrients. Minerals, they have their own importance. They perform various functions and they act as a cofactors in metabolic pathways. And the importance of water is always there because 60% of our body is made up of water. So generally the importance can be judged so that you can accordingly adjust or manage your diet. If you require energy, more energy from the food, the best choice is fats because providing 9 kilocalories per gram is the energy yield of the fat, and providing also the essential fatty acids. The proteins, if deficient in diet, the essential amino acids are deficient and our growth, repair and protection against infection can be impaired. And similarly, other macro and micronutrients, they have got basic important functions and which help to maintain our health. Nutrients are present in our food, and our food can be categorized into 4 basic groups. Milk group includes dairy products. Meat group is divided into animal and plant sources, includes meat, fish, eggs, and pulses, beans, and nuts from plants. Third group is green leafy vegetables and fruits. The fourth group is cereal group, including bread, rice, wheat, barley. A balanced diet should be an intelligent assortment of items from each of these 4 basic food groups so that different foods rich in different nutrients can contribute to the total nutritive value of the diet. If we think about the 4 basic food groups, so we can make and take the balanced diet, which consists proportionate quantities of food items from these four basic food groups, and which provides essential nutrients and complete fulfillment of the requirement of the body. 25% should we get from the proteins, 25% dietary components or nutrients from the carbohydrate group, 40% from the fruits and vegetables, and 10% nutrients we should take from the fat. So this is approximate percentage of four basic food groups and their components, which may help to make a balanced diet. If we plan a balanced diet, it should be based on these following points, which would help to take a balanced diet for ourselves and for others. A balanced diet should be from available foods, should be within economic means. It could be high cost or low cost according to the economic status of a person. It should fit with the local food habits. The food should be digestible and palatable. It should contain enough roughage. Sufficient quantity of nutrients and calories should be fulfilled. And it should be formulated to meet the requirement of individuals according to their age, sex, physiological status, and any existing disease or pathology. How to compose a balanced diet. Here is the example. High cost balanced diet and minimum cost or low cost balanced diet. Both are balanced diets providing same amount of calories and same quantity of the proteins. Here the emphasis is on milk and meat, while the proportionate compensation of milk and meat is taken from groundnut and germinated grams. This colocasia is Arvi, taro plant, Arvi. So this low cost balanced diet can replace this high cost balanced diet if economical status of that person or a family is not up to the mark. They cannot afford high cost diet, but they need balanced diet. Both the diets are balanced, giving the same amount of calories and proteins, but the cost is higher here in this group and it is low or minimum here in this group. So by combination of different food groups and items from the food groups, we can make the chart of balanced diet, and this example would help you to make a chart if you are requested or demanded for. The important slogan for a healthy diet is burn as much energy as you eat and eat as much energy as you can burn it. This slogan must be in mind for a healthy diet. Other recommendations are increase consumption of fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains and nuts. Limit the intake of fats and granulated sugars. Also limit salt and Salt should be iodized to meet the deficiency of iodine. Take sufficient essential amino acids and essential fatty acids because their deficiency may lead to certain diseases. Essential micronutrients, for example, vitamins and minerals are also required. Avoid any poisonous, heavy metal or carcinogens substances, and our diet should be uncontaminated diet, pathogen free. Infected food may lead to serious consequences of health. Thank you. Resource books and my mailing address for personal contact or queries. Allah Hafiz. Stay home, stay safe.